So, is DaVinci Resolve becoming the new industry standard? Okay, so today I'm here. I'm Victor Miranda, hosting for the Vision Maker podcast with my co-host today, Derlis.
What's up?
What's up? Fellow videographer, cinematographer here at VM. And our guest today is an editor, videographer, and director, Bknott. Bknott, why don't you introduce yourself?
What's going on, man? I'm Bknott, out here in Illinois. I do a little bit of everything: video editor, director. Started as a musician and kind of transitioned during the pandemic after having a kid, just focusing more on the video side. But a little bit, I got my hands on a little bit of everything: network engineering. But we're here to talk about the video editing and the creative world.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, because Bknott, you're an amazing editor. You've taught me so many things as a director as well. But one of the things, the big thing that we all loved when it just happened was the new update to DaVinci Resolve, excuse me. And we would love to hear your take.
Yeah, so I've switched over from Premiere, and I've been using DaVinci for about almost 2 years, primarily just with DaVinci. And I mean, I still use Premiere on the side, but this new update really makes things a lot easier and faster, and I guess you can say more precise, using the AI for the new voice feature to get out background noise. Because a lot of times, we just run a gun with a shotgun mic, and you're at a wedding, you can't always use a live mic. But the new feature they got with the
voice isolator and the dialogue leveler.
Yeah, Vic showed me that like in test runs, and I was just like, this is incredible to like just it's just the voice itself.
Yeah, using AI might have been the best way to do it all along. It's crazy how.
Wait, they used AI for this?
Yeah, so those are AI empowered. So that's why it doesn't just like work like a gate. It's like literally adapting to the environment and picking out the like vocal frequencies and trying to.
New world, bro. New world that we're living in.
Because it's crazy if they don't think. Imagine so if AI is doing that. Imagine once it gets like to the more advanced, the visual scale. I mean, they already do it with the object removal, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, the magic mask.
Yeah, and now that's one thing DaVinci needs. Does DaVinci have that?
Yeah, so DaVinci has the magic mask where you can just like kind of scribble over an area and it'll mask out that area.
I've only used it. I haven't had to use it since switching over, but.
Yeah, did you get a chance to check out the new sky replacement on the new update?
I saw it. I haven't used that yet either.
I got to test it out a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
You can build a custom sky. Like the colors will auto-generate clouds for you, the movement, the pan, everything.
The movement of the clouds?
Yeah, and you can track it to your camera angle, so you can set it and keyframe it so it matches the camera movement.
Can you do it like space or just put anything back there? Or?
Right now, from that specific feature, I've only seen just specifically sky, like daylight, like blue sky with
See, there's such an advancement, like compared to Premiere. Bknott, like, do you think that Premiere stands a chance against Resolve right now? Like, what's going to happen?
I do. I still do. I don't think for much longer, but I think Premiere will always have its place because you can move from one suite to another with Adobe. So I think just for that aspect of it. But once Resolve, I think the only thing Resolve is missing is a media encoder. So a way to render your projects and still work. Because it does have a delivery page, but once you start the process, you're in it and you can't really do anything. The same way with creating proxies within the application. So I think if once Resolve gets a media encoder, it'll be hard for people to commit fully to to Premiere.
Good point, because I know DaVinci already has I get what you mean by going program to program, where like Premiere has After Effects and Audition, and but like DaVinci has all that. That's like the Fairlight page. That's the Fusion page. After Effects is Fusion, Fairlight is Audition, and the only thing it doesn't really have is like a Photoshop, basically. And like you said, a media encoder for rendering. I mean, they have their proxy generator, so I was just like one step away from turning that into a media encoder. Because the proxy generator is a separate app that runs proxies on the background. And the nice thing is you assign it a folder, and it will just auto-generate proxies with whatever you throw into that folder.
That's nice. That's nice. I mean, the only thing that I feel like is holding Premiere up right now is .io.
Oh,
Or
Frame.io, but
yeah.
that's DaVinci's cloud collaboration.
Is that what they're doing too there?
Yeah, they do. They do pretty much the same thing. If anything, DaVinci's cloud. Have you had a chance to use that yet, Bknott? The cloud collaboration?
No,
No.
not yet. I've been
I
waiting.
think I think we'll both use it, but like I've done some research on it, and the crazy thing is like you can be Bknott, you can be in a project at the same time I am. You can be cutting the footage together, getting everything while I'm in the Fairlight page, tweaking the audio simultaneously.
Mm.
And then we can choose when we want to update our updates. So this way it all syncs.
Okay.
So Premiere has Frame.io, which is like basically syncing footage, but it's not syncing your timeline edits.
That is a little bummer. But Bknott, I gotta know what makes it so more such a more value than as an editor, as a director, like to go to DaVinci than, because it's just more the industry is moving over to this. Like everybody that I know, colorists are dying.
Everywhere you
just
look
like,
on YouTube,
like,
that's the
yeah,
that's
like
the tagline. Switching over to DaVinci.
yeah, like, and it's colors. They specifically say colors. What little things have you noticed in DaVinci that you can't get in Premiere? Like there's no
Number
chance.
one, if I had to give you number one, we all shoot in log nowadays. And you know when you shoot in log, you get noise. It just happens. And that's okay. It's good. Noise is good sometimes because it's part of the game. You don't have a noise reducer in the Adobe Premiere. You have to take it to After Effects and use their, what's it called, like grain removal or remove grain.
Yeah, or you get something like Neat Video,
Yeah,
or something like the Maxon.
You can use Neat Video. You can use the Red Giant noise removal,
but it's so expensive.
It's not as good. I promise you, the one in DaVinci, it can go toe to toe. It'll go toe to toe.
Victor
You don't even know, man.
had this wedding video that he's been working on, and it's been killing him to deliver it, just because he's been trying to get that reduction on the noise and everything just cleaned up.
Unfortunately, that was one of the first gigs we tried out our new Blackmagics on a while back, and because of the venue was very poorly lit, I was almost on 12,000 the whole gig. On the Blackmagic, yeah,
like
100%, 100%.
I hear him 100%.
It was, yeah. So obviously, there's a ton of noise. I got a deal on the Red Giant denoiser, which was doing its job, but Premiere has hated this project from beginning because Premiere is like, and Derlis has seen it. Every movement buffers, literally. And I'm just like, and this is on a custom built computer, that's another topic we can use is on the GPU utilization between Premiere and DaVinci. But besides that, yeah, so I eventually, but the deal that I got for the Red Giant had a time limit, and then I didn't really realize how it was going to work. But basically, it just made it unusable for the whole timeline. So I had to remove the Red Giant, and then I ended up getting Neat Video, which is amazingly been doing a good job, but it's just been,
the processing has been horrendous overall. It's been a terrible experience just to be had for any editor when you're just on the seat and you want to do a cut or you want to just check out something, and then you can't because you're just like, oh, I'm colorizing or I'm just doing my thing and like finalizing certain things, and then if you do a little cut, then you have to buffer or you have to render for 3 hours.
Have you noticed that between Premiere and DaVinci? Because I've noticed it for myself where it's like DaVinci has no processing problem. And I even looked at like the computer specs. I see it's using my GPU, it's using my CPU. I totally hit the mic. But I feel like Premiere, on the newest update of Premiere, I always make sure to update. And on the same computer, it gives me these ridiculous render times of like 30 hours, 20 hours still.
Yeah,
like,
I never really get
difference?
like the hour. I never really get too up in the hour mark. But what do you use, Mac or PC?
I use both.
What do you prefer?
But
This
this
desktop is
specifically
PC.
is on a custom built PC with the 3080 NVIDIA GTX.
How many gigs of RAM?
64.
good. And
with
what
a
about
20 core CPU processor.
24 core?
Yeah.
Wow. So how long does it take you
Yeah.
to...
No, this wedding is
DaVinci
a
flies.
nightmare, bro.
DaVinci flies on this
No,
computer.
it's this wedding, bro. 100%. I
Here's
guarantee
what
you,
I want you to
the
do.
way you put the things on there.
Here's what I want you to do.
I
I
don't
want you to
know.
do this.
George built out the timeline for me. So
If you can
Yeah.
take that wedding and you have a Blackmagic, so you got DaVinci Studio.
yeah, I have DaVinci Studio. I'm just like,
Man,
is there a
why?
way to transport it?
Look
Yeah.
at
Teach
Bknott
me,
just
Bknott,
trying,
teach
yo,
me,
What you need
Bknott.
to do
go.
is, what you need to do is, all right, when'd you shoot it?
This was end of last year, December.
So it still might work. What I would do is this. I would go into, it'll work regardless. I would go inside Premiere, go to export, and export an XML file.
XML, got it.
Right. And then after that, you go into, open up a new DaVinci project.
Yeah.
And go to your color management. And this is for color to get it. Have you heard about, you ever use color management?
Yes, I've been diving into it. Yeah.
Man, it makes everything easy. It makes it perfect almost. And set your color management up for, I think it's DaVinci Color Wide Gamut. I'll send it to you.
The YGV thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you want to bring in that timeline. You can just import the XML and just use that noise reducer, and you'll notice the difference. It still might slow your computer down. You might have to go to proxies and set up maybe like a half resolution, a quarter resolution.
Yeah, but if I do the XML, I'll be able to bring in the timeline.
Yes.
I'll sync all the clips.
Oh,
Correct.
there you go, Victor.
There we go. That's what I've been needing.
Pancake your timeline though. Just make it to where it's one, unless you have any mask.
Yeah, okay.
And unless you didn't do any mask and you can pancake it, just make it to where it's one track.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's
Yeah,
really good.
so if it's not pancake, then would it not work?
No, I don't literally mean pancake. Just make it like one track. It's like a solid.
Yeah, but if it's not one track, will it not work?
It will. It's just gonna be more confusing and complicated to look at.
Okay.
Because you got to think you're importing it in, and it'll work, but it's just I'm trying to make it easy on you.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
You notice a difference in that, and I would say number 2, Derlis, would be the tabs at the bottom. Like the workspace is kind of suck in Premiere, to be honest. Like to do audio, if you want to do an audio change, like how you can't really copy the effects. If you go to the audio track,
yeah,
and you're looking at the mixer, you can't do like an Alt or Control to copy. You can't copy the effects over from one track to another as smooth as you can with Premiere, and they don't have it to where it's just you can, but it doesn't flow like it. Like DaVinci flows like Logic, or it flows like Studio One or like Pro Tools when it comes to audio. It actually feels like an audio program, and then you can.
It really feels like it's the closest thing I've seen to like a Pro Tools type of DAW, like a real DAW. You know?
Yeah, it feels like that, but Premiere doesn't. It's too blocky. It's too. Yeah, it's blocky. And it's almost like Windows 2000. You know what I mean? And
that's what Adobe did. Like at first, it was innovative because what they wanted you to do was they wanted you to go to Audition. For your audio. They wanted you, because that's why they made the Adobe Dynamic Link, because it's not just After Effects, it also works with Audition. That's their Fairlight page, that's their audio DAW. But it just no one wants to transfer through 3 different programs.
Oh, of course not.
And the link works not always great, especially when it's like you're trying to, because it's a different look, you can't see your video the same way, this and that, you know?
Do you think?
And then you're forcing your computer to run multiple programs.
Yeah.
Victor, do you think Fusion can go toe to toe with After Effects? Maybe not win, but will it be like?
From what I've seen, I would say yeah. I think the trick with Fusion and DaVinci is like learning that nodes business.
But once you learn it, you got it.
Yeah, I think so. I kind of like how nodes work with like versus the layers, like After
Because
Effects.
you always told me it's like signal flow in audio.
Yeah. I just see it as like connecting the dots.
I think all 3 of us have come from audio backgrounds where it's just like we understand the signal flow of things, where it's just like one to the next, and then you can bypass one if you like to, like if you build it the right way.
You know, I'd be interested to hear, because I feel like we all have this story At what point, like, did you discover Resolve and then make the choice to like send it? Was it like a project that you were like, I can't do this, I need to new program, or was it like, oh, let me just try it out and then realize how awesome it was? Like, how was
I
it for you?
used to, for me, when I first got the camera, I was using Rec 709 conversion LUTs inside of Premiere, and I was like, it's got to be an easier way than this. It's got to be. And I like, shots had noise in it because I'm shooting like Blackmagic Raw, and I like Blackmagics. They're great. I think they do a great job, but they just sometimes have noise. And even like the Sony A7S III has some noise, so I had to take it in Premiere, I mean, in DaVinci. I mean,
Mhm.
it's hard After Effects, and I had to keep doing that After Effects, and it would slow my computer down.
Right.
And I knew what the answer was, so like it took me like a year on and off just to bounce back and forth before I said, I'm done with this. I'm just gonna have to commit it.
Oh, so you were bouncing back and forth between the two, one for coloring and then you were editing in the other.
Yeah,
Oh, and you started on Premiere, right?
I started with Premiere.
Yeah. Okay.
And I would bounce back to only use a noise reducer in DaVinci, which is stupid. It's stupid. You might as well
Yeah.
do it all in
Yo,
DaVinci.
Bknott, that brings me another question right there, where it's just like, did you start as a director and then an editor, or an editor? Like, why did you even pick up doing editing?
I started both at the same time because I needed to do my own music videos, and they
Yeah.
needed to get done. And it's expensive paying somebody and wanting to buy this and buy beats and have other money for other stuff. So it's just I edited myself, I directed myself, and just tell someone what to be. So then I would be there for directing, and then I would edit it.
So is that how you got your start? You started, obviously you have a musician background, and so do we. And but you started out by the need of like, I need my own music videos, like you said. You started
Correct.
doing that, and then people started to reach out to you, being like, "Yo, that was dope. Who made your music video?" And like, I made it myself. Like, can you make me something like that?
Yeah, so I really started doing that like in 2016, 2017 when I was in Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to change. I moved to New York. When I moved to New York, I would show people my work I did,
Mm-hmm.
and just build up clientele, and one thing led to the next. And I'll utilize Instagram to really just market the work I've been doing.
Yeah, that's changed a lot now.
Yeah,
In the
it's
last
a
couple
whole
of
different
years,
area.
it's just like
Oh yeah.
of how people are utilizing Instagram and using everything as artists is concerned and everything else. But what was your best edited video that you think that you personally like? Not like the views or the likes or whatever the shit is more just like why did you like it too? That you were
Or
most
personal
proud of.
favorite.
Yeah, that you were most proud of, the kind of thing.
You ever seen that video called Genetic 2?
I didn't see that one. No.
I'll just send it to y'all later. It's a video where I'm on a green screen and I saw it upside down and it come like almost like the Joker
Nice.
in Batman.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Then,
I
but
was actually thinking Fresh Prince with him in the
Like turning.
intro
Yeah.
on the throne.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's a good reference too. And we were just tripping. So and we shot that, and you really can't tell what's green screen at sometimes, and it's kind of cool.
That's good. That's a good mark of using green screen properly when you can't tell it's being green screen.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I need to send it to you.
Oh, definitely. I mean, personally, one of my favorites for you has to be Keenan and Cal.
I knew you were gonna
Like,
say Keenan and Kel.
Yeah. Like the colorization on that was one of my like that was the first time I saw like the Sony A7S III
Oh yeah.
and I knew what that was, and I was like, oh, he definitely colored it like that, and maybe I'm wrong, but I was just like the colorization on this camera on how this all looks is just incredible. And I'm glad that my roommate at the time introduced me to you, because I was like, this guy's just out of this world with his editing and just directing and stuff like that. But which do you prefer more, directing or editing?
I like directing when I can almost shoot, like, or when it's my story. If it's something I know and something I storyboarded, then I direct. But if not,
Yeah.
there's better directors than me out there. And I'm actually looking to work with some better directors so I can learn more and be a better director.
So directing is more of the creative passion for you because you're in control of your own specifically creative
Right,
process.
exactly. I
And
know which
editing is
shot.
more of like, I just like to edit. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be connected to my creative vision.
Right.
Yeah.
I like to edit. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I like the money aspect in editing. I like to edit. I really do. I mean, I like to edit and see it. I like to see the complete project. Let me say that.
Yeah.
I like getting there. And I like that. We can talk about my editing style that makes it to where it's enjoyable. Editing is not bad. It's not. I don't like doing too much corporate work to where it's like you have to put in lower thirds and stuff like product videos. I don't like doing product videos, but I will because everybody needs money.
Yeah, of
You
course,
understand what I'm saying?
but you, as opposed to being the cinematographer, like you have D, I know he's been working with you for a while on a couple of your videos. Like you have him there running the camera, not necessarily you. You rather just like, I don't really care too much about handling the camera. I'd rather come and start putting everything together.
I will say this: Bknott has been more than gracious to give me the camera, but I've been more of a gaffer or a grip. Like when I've been with him, and luckily he has showed me the angles. Luckily I've suggested things, and he's been a good leader, just like listening and just like, yo, just hit him right here.
My main question is that, like, for you, so it's definitely editing over the actual shooting for you.
Shooting.
Shooting is more.
Yeah,
So you prefer to shoot if you could.
That's tough.
Okay, that's what I'm getting at.
That's
so
tough.
like, I'll give you my example.
Are we talking passion? I don't know. Are we talking passion or career?
Okay, so let me put it in this framework. I'll give you my example and then see if you get what I'm putting down. I would say for me, I can edit and I can shoot. I prefer shooting, but I definitely have edited for the money, for sure. And but if I had a choice, because you can make money in both, like realistically, and you can make a living in both, and you can get good money in both. But the big difference is, so taking money out of the equation, making it more of a career, for me, I rather film mainly because I like to be active doing what I'm doing as far as capturing creative vision. I love but I love that when I'm done shooting, I'm done. Like, that's it. I'm done. It's executed and it's out.
And it's somebody else's problem.
It's not even just that. It's just like, you do it. It's like shooting a story. Once you shoot a story, that's it. I don't have to toil over it anymore. Whereas with an edit, you can finish an edit in a day, but you can technically always go back if you get a last second idea or like a tweak here and there. And sometimes you can't really finish an edit in a day if you have to deal with something longer. Like, I recently edited a 45-minute documentary. So obviously I'm not going to be done with that in a day. So that obviously, so that becomes torturous for me. And I've done a lot of editing for most of my jobs, more than shooting. But I'm trying to make that switch where I can outsource the editing, because ultimately for me, in the long term, I know I'll be less stressed and more enjoy myself shooting than I do editing. So that's where I'm like gearing my career towards, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
No, it makes sense.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. For you, if you were trying to gear because that's what a video mentor once told me. He's like, you got to pick. Are you a shooter or are you an editor? Are you good with being on the computer, toiling around and getting things right for 8 hours, 6 hours? Or are you want to just shoot it, be done with it? Like, because you got to figure out long term what's going to actually keep you going in life before you start to really hate it.
Shooting is more fulfilling.
Shooting is more fulfilling for you.
Shooting is definitely more fulfilling. Especially,
but you don't feel so bad about editing, though.
No, I don't feel bad about editing at all. Like, to be honest, editing is like, I want to be a great editor, and just great. Just always see a story instantly, arrange it, and nice. I don't mind it. I really don't mind the editing, but shooting is amazing. Shooting is amazing whenever you have an idea in your head, and when you get excited about a shot, or like
Ooh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's,
we all
that's
know
what I
that
like.
feeling.
Or like
That's that crack feeling right there.
yeah. So
Oh.
and I don't you don't always get that with editing. So like
But
I was
you
excited to show
don't.
y'all the video before now because of the shooting, not because of the editing. Because of
I
like, hey,
got
what do
you.
you think
Oh, so
about
that favorite video of yours is more because of how you shot it
yeah,
versus how you edited.
anything I would recommend to you guys as one of my favorite is has to do with the way it was shot. Like the commercial I showed you guys before, I thought I liked the way I shot it, and I just wanted to see what you guys thought about it as far as shots go. And
I got you.
yeah,
No,
so
that
shooting,
makes sense.
yeah, and the edit was cool. There was nothing wrong with the edit, but it did what it needed to do. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't the edit is not supposed to take over. So edit to me, the reason why it was tough for me to answer the question is because
Yeah,
editing is a necessity in my eyes. I look at it as
It
like
is.
I got you.
even
Yeah,
if I'm
no.
only just shooting, I might see the final product or like a draft of the project, and I might need to go and talk to the editor and be like, "Yo, step aside. Let's do it like this."
I also
Yeah.
agree with you on that.
Yeah. Now, do you think like you can train an editor so they can match the style that you actually want on like basically that one? Because I know Mr. Beast, I'm not sure if you know about him. Like he's probably the biggest YouTuber out there, and he was saying how, a lot of people think you can't train somebody or they can't do your style, but generally like yeah, you can find an editor that does your style or just can do it just how you would like it to end up like.
Or for me, it's like a certain level of quality.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think it's not like a car where it's like you need certain tools to take it apart, and you have to know the exact placement, and you got to figure out where this wire comes from and what type of oil it is. If you really want to, you can break a video down. You can break it down shot by shot, edit by edit, the music, and you start finding the commonalities and what works and what doesn't. And
Yeah.
before you, like Derlis, we talked about this before I did the first wedding for you guys, the edit.
yeah,
I was like, yeah, I'll just follow you guys' pattern, and I said that's actually kind of easy just following a pattern for an editor. It's just yeah, it's an act 1, act 2, act 3. Check. All right, cool. What music they use?
There
All
you
right,
go.
check.
Yeah.
What's the opening? What's the transition? They have a drone for transition? Cool. Yeah. So I think to answer your question, I do think that somebody can match the style of the edit just by studying it. And you don't even have to do it for that long.
Yeah, and no, so that actually brings up my follow-up question would be now, so recently we worked together in a couple weddings videos now, the one you're actively working on. And I know this is a new area of editing and style that you're venturing into. So how is that? Because of course we all have our opinions when it comes to like, because it's a niche. It's its own category, wedding videos and stuff like that. And you're coming from music videos and doing some corporate stuff and different things like that. So did you really sense any real difference, or you like you said, just like okay, I saw it's just telling a story of the day? Was it like as simple, or did you feel? How was your take? Just basically trying that for the first time, being your first wedding video.
The biggest challenge was the reception music. That's
Yeah,
the challenge. Now, as far as transitioning over, it didn't really feel different because in my eyes, it's still a music video. Because it's
you're still telling a story.
It's still a corporate video. It's still everything I've done before.
Yeah,
Because it's just you put the B-roll in, you tell the story. I love telling stories of. I like to transition from like drones. I don't know if you like. I like the
yeah.
drones, like
I noticed
transition.
that when you transition right after the ceremony.
Yeah, and
using
I'm doing
one
it with the
drone shot.
second ones, and I do that in other work. It's honestly about the same. It's just finding what you guys like, which I'm getting and I'm understanding. If we keep working together, I'll be able to definitely get it faster with less notes and all that.
Yeah.
But it's cool. I look at it like this. It's just reps. You know what I mean? It's just like I'm honest. We all are getting better. The more notes, the more you guys shoot, the better you get. The more you learn one more thing. And now I'm doing these weddings. I'm doing more work, getting better with that. Getting better, it's just keep getting better and better and better. And then since I edit so much, like a wide variety of things, it's only gonna make me better with the next project. So I embrace it.
So how did you get started in doing like this more for work? like I know you started with music videos. So that's like one niche, one area, but how did you really get started into now getting corporate clients and different things like that?
All right. So I work for I work for a company called I work for a company out here, right?
Okay.
And
As an editor?
as an editor and a shooter, been
Okay.
with
How'd you
them.
get into that?
Just applied. I just applied.
You just started looking for
Yeah,
video
looking for
editing
work out
jobs.
here because I wanted to make some more money. So I
Yeah, of
work for a
course.
company, and I shoot and edit for them. And as I've lived out here long, even in New York, but I feel like I have more clients and more corporate work here and more like business work and stuff going on out here as of now than I
Mhm.
ever did in New York. But it's just from going to shoots, hustling, having the business card out, doing cold calls. But
Mm-hmm.
how did I get into it out here? Just applied and hustled, just networking. The same way Derlis met me, and the same way I met him. I mean, it's just I feel like people are always gonna need our services, but they may not always realize it. But it's people out there who need it. People need, yeah.
I feel like
It's
it's
people,
gonna continue to grow as
right,
especially as time is moving on forward. People need video content for their businesses mainly too, and not just their personal, just so people can really see because most of our time now is spent on our cell phones. Most of our time is spent looking at a screen, even though my father particularly like go outside, go take a walk, and I'm just like I can see nature just on my phone. It's like somebody's out there filming it, but you know with businesses now needing content, it is it's essential that videographers get hired as well as good editors. The question to me that comes into is like, which do they need more, and why would they need more? Do they need a storyteller, or do they need a person that already grabs their content and can make it into a story? Because the story is the most important out of anything else during a video. Like if you don't have a story, I think you're pretty much lost overall. You know?
100%. That is fun with the weddings. I know going back to the wedding question, Vic. I
Yeah.
do enjoy that. I honestly enjoy making a story out of just some
How's,
footage. So I think that's pretty cool.
I'm curious in so one big part of like most videos, especially corporate work, even weddings and not music videos because the music's already a given in music videos, like you're doing it for the track, but like for corporate work, I feel like one of the most time consuming parts for editing
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, I don't know for me, and we've talked about this,
Yeah.
is that finding the song that fits like that because you're like for me I feel like I'm trying to please the client. I'm trying to get something that actually fits the theme or
Mm-hmm.
the what's happening. You're also and at the same time that I feel like for me it's like I also want to like it like in a
Yeah,
sense
yeah,
like I'm
yeah.
like because I don't want to like because I've seen videos where I'm like oh I hate this backing track with a passion right now. I mean, I get it. It's corporate sounding and this and that. So it's like
It's
for
needed.
you, how's your selection process when you're digging through tracks? Do you go by off certain parameters or do you have like usually you're just trying to find something that you personally feel is right or do you try to like forget that and just go with like how's your thought process when you're trying to select music? Because I feel like that's such a time consuming part for most people.
It's horrible. Like I hate to keep referring back, but that video I showed you guys, the
Yeah.
client don't even like the music. It's just like, man, it's perfect. It was perfect. I thought it was perfect.
Oh,
It
that's the
happens all the
worst
time.
too.
Yeah, it happens all the time, man. Almost like every 3 projects. Hey, can we change the song? And
Right.
it's part of it. But I
And
don't
it's
know, man.
also
It's
trying to get
tough.
the
It's tough to it's no real process because it's really hard to get inside the client's head and see what they're gonna possibly like, even when it just works. I shot a video for a farm out here, the same company I showed you before.
yeah.
My wife and
Mm-hmm.
I we shot a video, and it was like want to know what makes our hard cider so special, and then we played like some jazzy music, right? And it
Right.
was like just jazzy music. It was like
Yeah.
grown and sexy. They
Mm-hmm.
come back and they said it sounded like porn music.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll
like
send it to you. Maybe you can add it in here, and you can maybe do a poll
Wow.
and see. Does it
Way
sound
to
like?
taint the pool.
yeah.
Yeah. But
No.
yeah. So they said it sounded like porn music, and shit like that
Did they give
happens.
you any real constructive
Like
criticism?
a
Because
direction to go from there, you
I
know?
personally hate when
No,
I get
they
that
love the
as
video. They just said the music was sounded like porn music, like 80s porn music.
Do you find it like, so we run into this a lot. And I'm just curious if you feel the same or if you found your own ways around this challenge. Especially when it comes to editing projects.
Yeah.
Is that when you get those challenges, the client is like, I don't like that, whatever it is. Mainly the music, but it could also be like how the edits are going, or he's like, oh, it's too, like where they say just, I don't like it, it's too muddy, or they use a descriptive word like that.
Yeah.
And then it's hard to get like, okay, if you don't like that, what direction should I take it in? And getting something like a lead. Like, do you find that you find it also pretty difficult with most clients to get like a lead into the actual direction they want you to take it when they say they don't like something?
Yeah, I do. But it hasn't happened. That hasn't happened in a while. I had a client. It's so stupid. This person's so stupid. I had a client hit me up and was like, "Hey, I want a black and white music video." So we filmed a black and white music video. I sent him the black
Okay.
and white music video, and he said, "This black and white music video is too black and white." I'm just like,
Yeah, that's
then he sends
that's a
me.
thumper.
How did you handle that one? I'm
He's
curious.
like, "I want it to look like the last video we did, and did you use a different camera?" I was like, "Same camera. Is anything different? Same everything. It's just it just looks the same."
Yeah.
I don't know. The issue with him was I'm never not gonna say his name, but the issue with him was he didn't want to see himself. He was self conscious with the way he looked. So when he meant what is too black and white was, I had to just dissect it. He meant that the areas we were filming weren't too dark. He wanted to be in an area where he looked like it's all shadow. He didn't want his face to be seen because he was self-conscious.
But like you say, you had to dissect.
Exactly.
You had to almost go like to a therapy session with him to uncover what he really meant.
I feel like that's a lot of clients, unfortunately, that you have to just have a therapy session for them, unfortunately, where you're just like, yeah, let me pump, your ego up a little bit just so you feel better. And it's just like, and I personally hate it to a degree, but, not every job is going to be perfect, I guess.
Well, I think it also goes in line with so one lesson I learned with like in sales and stuff is that the first objection you get in most cases isn't the actual objection at all. Because the first thing people when they feel like a friction about or they don't like something, they'll say the first thing that sounds good in their head before you really get to like what it is. So it's like it's not the real thing, but like that's like people's default because they're filtering it to what they think you want to hear at the same time. So it's like, but it's not what you need to hear because it's like that doesn't help me get to actually what you want,
Right.
So it's like breaking that down for them and helping work through that. But it's also sometimes they don't even know really.
Yeah.
Like
And
I guess your client, like you said, like you had to dissect it. That he didn't really know that he wanted more shadows.
Right. And another thing I realized with him, so it was easy. It made it a little easier knowing that in the same video, like it was nighttime and so the autofocus was struggling. He wanted me to use the shots that were blurry where the autofocus didn't catch.
Oh, because probably his skin looked softer. Like he was
he didn't want to be seen. He didn't want to. He wasn't confident
with the crispness. He's like, "Oh, at least if it's blurry, I can." Yeah.
So immediately, I took out the Directed by Bknott in my tag. I'm like, yeah, cool. Yeah, I didn't do this.
There you go. Here's
Don't
your
put my
video.
name on this shit. Yeah.
Sometimes you have to do that with paying clients.
Oh
though.
yeah, I mean sometimes I just don't want that work to be seen and then be associated with myself. And
What we say, directed by Doug.
Oh yeah. Directed by Doug.
Tell him about that.
You got to come up with the code name. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Tell Big about that, Derlis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, Bknott had a code name for himself just in case these situations occurred where he would actually put directed by Doug. Just like you could put that on there. Don't put my directed by Bknott on this, please. Like avoid that.
That's genius. That's not the first time I've heard of someone doing that,
Yeah.
but I haven't heard that. So it's happened enough that you've actually thought this through and came up with a name.
Hell yeah! Me and Derlis, we were working with a client, and they wanted to cut a whole bunch of shit out to where it's just like one scene, and yeah, it would have looked trash. And I'm like, yeah, okay, you know what?
Yeah.
You want to pay us? We'll do it, but you're not gonna listen to us. You're not gonna take our advice, and it looks like this. Doug did it. I didn't do it.
Oh man.
I gotta say that's such a painful thing because we put our life and soul into it, like all the love that we can into videos. It's not like we're not trying
Exactly.
at the, and then and I understand like this is your project and all that shit, but at the end of the day, it's like we also worked on it. It's like we don't like none of us want to work on a project that we don't care about. Like especially like when it comes to filming or video at the end of the day, but some bills need to be paid, and that's what certain jobs are for. But when we were at this particular job, I'm not going to say names, obviously, for good reasons, but we were there hoping we could come up with something that we would all be proud of and we would all love to share. And I think that's something that, any filmmaker wants at the end of the day, just to make sure that they have something that it's for them, for not just them, but like for everybody, that they
Yeah.
can feel like this is something coming from my soul and everything like that.
Yeah.
So
At the end, I think most of us, I think, would agree that we're in this for as an artist. Like I feel that way too. Like I feel like that's part of like why I'm getting work is because people like the way I'm artistic, like my vision of what it is, and I feel like it goes the same for all three of us.
Yep. Hey, did you guys ever upgrade your Black Magics?
that is,
Firmware, yes.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
But like,
to like the
I
newest
still
one?
feel, I still feel like that monitor. There's a monitor issue with one of the Black Magics.
Did
that
you
we need
upgrade
to
them
resolve.
recently? Like
Yeah,
good.
like in the last month.
Yeah,
We
all
got
right, so
the
next time
6K
we work
Pro and the
together-
G2.
Next time we work together, if it's possible to film in Blackmagic Raw, like 12.1, even if you just want to keep the space down, if you do that, then I'll be able to use the gyro stabilization. which is-
Yeah.
And that's what he was telling me about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have that. We have that in all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be dope. It'll be. I mean, I know you guys like to shoot ProRes, but if you ever wanted to, just get a little more data. It'll be just a little
I'll be
bit.
honest with you.
I want to,
We've been
but-
switching over to the Blackmagic Raw
Yeah,
just
bro.
because
Then I
it's
got
just
highlight recovery.
Yep.
It's just
12
easier to
bit,
work with.
yeah,
bro.
especially in
And I got the
DaVinci. It's just like
stabilization.
the only reason why I opted to ProRes was just because of Premiere. That was it. Everything else was just like, yo, let's let's bring it to DaVinci, but
Yeah. Yeah. So, tying it back in, now that we're talking about it, do you find yourself ever going back to Premiere for anything in specific?
Yeah, the other job I work at, we use Dropbox, and I work with different editors using Dropbox.
Okay, so yeah, but outside of working with other editors that like already are on a Premiere project, like if you had a project, is there really any reason why you would go to Premiere on your own accord?
Outside of that, yes. There's one feature.
What's the feature? Because I have one feature too that I keep
There's
going
one
back for.
feature, and it's an audio feature.
Which one?
The remix.
Yes, that's the same exact reason. Just because
Yeah.
that one click, put in the time.
I had to do it the other day. I needed the song to be 30 seconds. I wasn't satisfied with a fade out. I try the fade out first. I bring it to the time
Yeah.
and fade out like
Can I
26.
stay in DaVinci for this? No. Okay.
All right, cool. Fade out, it doesn't hit. So then you got to take it to Premiere, open up a project, and just bring the audio on the timeline, remix tool, export as a wave, and I'm out.
Yeah, that's it.
And I'm
I've
out.
been.
No, I'm out.
Yeah, I've even every time I'm like downloading something from DaVinci, they have that suggestion tab. I'm just like, remix, please.
Yeah.
This is the only thing that's gonna keep me in your program.
yeah, no, of course. I mean,
That's
they're
amazing.
standing on one leg, really, at the end of the day, Premiere. And I mean, Final Cut for just the throw,
Oh,
just to throw that into the mix of it.
the third guy.
I will say Final Cut, as far as like the first time I got to test it out, it was so intuitive. Just like everything was just like put it down, like you can speed this up very quickly, you can slow it down really quickly, and like
That's
you
what I
can
hate
see
about
the
it. I
yeah.
hate that. It looks like a game. It looks like
Oh, 100. But
That
that's logic too. Like
yeah.
that, that's what I feel like when I'm in Final Cut.
But Final Cut, honestly, I learned on Final Cut.
Okay, that was your first
That was
program.
my first stop because where I was starting to video edit, they had Final Cut. So,
Okay.
but yeah, so I learned on Final Cut, and yeah, I would say it got me started, but then I started to hit limitations with it.
Of course.
For me, I felt Final Cut ran slower than Premiere because,
Really?
like, for me, it was I noticed that I couldn't really play anything until it auto rendered it. So when I started working like on consecutive projects, I just started getting pinwheeled all the time, like to the point where I would move my mouse and pinwheel. I'm talking like 3 years ago now. So
Yeah.
I'm sure they made updates to it. I have a coworker with one of the clients. He uses Final Cut still regularly,
Right.
but we're still talking about switching over to DaVinci. Because at the same time, it's like just DaVinci just still has so much more features
Right.
than the two of them, Just the Fairlight page and the Fusion page alone.
Agreed.
yeah. So Vic, tell me about that computer you got. You like it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, the PC.
yeah. No. It's real nice. I love it, especially for DaVinci. So I custom built it through a website called Digital Storm. So they make custom PCs. So you pick all your parts, and this was when the 3080 just came out. So they still had it in stock, thankfully, because I guess they were one of those people that bulked order it, so
Oh,
their
okay.
clients can get them. So,
Nice.
so I got this has the 3080 with the 10 gigs of dedicated video RAM, has the 64 gigs of regular RAM,
DDR4.
and then it has the Ryzen 9 20 core processor.
Was that the Threadripper?
Not the Threadripper. So it's called the
Oh yeah,
Ryzen
you
9.
said the Ryzen 9,
Not-
so that would be what was it, the 59 or
Yeah, I think so. That sounds about right. Yeah, it's like 59,000 or something like that.
5950?
What?
The 5950?
Yeah, I think so.
Gotcha. What about
And
the
then-
you use any NVMe for storage? Like the
Oh, for storage?
Yeah.
So yeah, inside it has a terabyte drive and another so it has 2 terabytes in there. And then I have tons of external storage here. I got like 50 terabytes almost of external storage out here.
It sounds
But
like a beast, man. It's crazy. It's dope. I'm glad you like PC. PC's great.
Yes. Just the pure customization of it and the affordability all combined.
What do you use more, that or your Mac to edit?
It depends where I am. The Mac is just good because I'm on the go with it.
What
And
if
I
you're
would say
not? And what if you have your Mac set up and your PC set up right next to each other?
I would default to my PC unless the project's just already on my Mac, and then I would just be lazy and not switch to my Mac. But I definitely having both because like I'm more of a PC Android fan, but not to say I've had the iPhone and I have an iPad and I have the MacBook Pro with the M1 chip and everything. I think it's a phenomenal machine, but for me, just the workflow on PC is smoother for me. It makes more sense to me logically with how I work things. Whereas Mac, I find myself constantly troubleshooting for Apple users more than anybody, but it's just, I think they're great, especially if you're not super tech savvy. I think it's just like they have their way. They have one way in there. This is the one way they want you to do everything. If you want to do it any other way, well, too bad. Because it's just not going to work. Our PCs are like, do whatever you want, Yeah, so that's kind of my opinion on the whole thing. But yeah, I'm definitely more of a PC person. And plus, it's like they're comparable machines to each other, but like the PC took me like $3,000 to make versus the $6,000 MacBook Pro I'm walking around with.
It's six grand?
Yeah, it has the 2 terabytes internal storage, the M1 chip, all the whole 9 on it.
That's insane. It's a lot of money for a
Well,
laptop.
at least you didn't have to buy it though.
Yeah, no, it was a perk of one of my clients. So,
But I've seen Victor enjoy the Mac use of it.
I mean, I enjoy the portability that much. Until I can afford to make a custom built laptop, I'm on it.
Gotcha. And what about the Blackmagic? I wanted to ask you, what do you think about the Blackmagic cameras?
I'm finding them. I love them, but I'm finding them like they have their use. I'm finding them not very good with run and gun.
Oh yeah.
Just like I rather use the Sony A7, A7S3.
Yeah, autofocus.
Yeah, for like run and gun. So I'm finding that I'm like switching depending. Like, I think, but as far as like, I think it's a great looking image, and I think it's pretty powerful camera.
Oh yeah.
And it works with like I came from Canon, so it worked great with like my lenses that I already had, my Sigma lenses. So, and I love all these features. Just that I have the A10 Mini switcher. This is what we're doing this podcast with. So I love being able to control the Blackmagics through it. I love
And
the
it's
synchronicity of it all. I love like the gyroscope, all these features that they're just so advanced, I find. And I love the tally marks that syncs with the switcher and everything. My only issue is like with run and gun, you don't have the autofocus though. Like it has like the point and hold autofocus
That's
now,
lame.
but it's not.
It's
like
trash. It's
yeah.
absolute trash. I mean, on top of that, for me,
Yeah.
it's the battery life.
Oh.
That
But if
really
you rig
just
it,
kills.
but you
We got
should
rig
be
it
But,
all
but
with
that's the
V-mounts.
thing. That's the
thing.
question. Then it's like, how much are you gonna rig this system just to make sure that like this camera can be operatable?
Now,
like,
Bknott, we might be stupid, but have you run into this green tint issue with the cameras? Like we get like a slight green.
You have the
tint.
pros, like the blue green tint.
well, are you talking about the monitor, or are you talking about the actual footage itself?
I'm talking about the footage.
Okay. Well, I mean, for
No.
the footage, it's.
No, for the monitor then.
I mean,
I've heard about that.
Yeah.
You've heard about it, right?
I haven't.
Yeah.
I have not on either.
You
Yeah,
have
but-
not seen it. Okay.
but
I've
as far as,
heard
like,
about the blue when it first came out, but the
Oh, yeah,
firmware
yeah.
should have fixed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just noticed on the monitors we get like a green tint.
Well, I mean, like for me, like the as far as footage goes, there is a tint that goes with Blackmagic that you can obviously see versus like the A7S3 where it's more magenta. But you know, it's nothing you can't fix in post really quickly.
Yeah, you just
know?
gotta correct it.
Yeah. But it is an annoyance that. But every camera is a little bit different than the other camera, even if it's the same brand.
True.
I guess.
True.
know?
Very true. It's different sensors and stuff. How do you feel about the Blackmagic? You have a Sony as well too.
Yeah, I don't have the S. I have the Sony A7 III. It's 8-bit.
Yep.
Okay, it's still great. That's amazing. The Blackmagic, to be honest, man, I think the Blackmagic, the 6K, and the 6K
Yeah.
Pros, I think they would be relevant for like another 15 years. It's
15 years. That's
You
that's
think
a,
15?
That's a hard bet right there. But all right.
You gotta think, how long was 8-bit relevant? You know what I mean? 8-bit
True.
was
I just felt this is at a time where like okay, they found that like a while ago. Now it's like okay, the big thing is 10-bit.
Yeah.
Next, it's everybody's talking about 12-bit.
and
Obviously
they do
they
12-bit.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They do. We're
and-
not
and then-
even 6K compatible. Let's say it takes another 5 years to get.
Well,
4K
there's another
compatible.
thing though to think about too, Bknott. I think it's exponential.
Mhm.
There was an old statistic. I don't know if it's still the same today.
But how it
they
doubled
said,
every
like,
18 months.
No, every 7 years, technology doubles in progress. So it's like it's exponentially going up.
Yeah.
So like the time it took us from making 1080 to 4K TVs the standard. Like everyone's now owns a 4K TV. Like that's starting to become like
The
the
standard.
household standard. It's
Yeah.
a 4K TV, 4K monitors. Like everyone wants 4K. So now I think like in the next few years we're going to see that like everyone's they expect 4K as the product result because it's only a matter of time before mobile devices are standardized in 4K.
Right. So let me
But,
say
like,
5 years.
That's so hard. That's a hard one. I feel like for a mobile device to be 4K, like it has to be about the size of it. It's not about let me.
It's pixel
Yeah.
density. It's
I
not
get
for
that,
resolution. It's pixel density.
but
it's
like,
not size.
But you're telling me you can see 4K difference.
Well,
in a
I'm not
mobile
saying
phone.
we will see it.
Okay.
I'm not saying we'll see it, but they're going to do it.
No, yeah, that's fine.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm saying. But no, but you do like you put like a 1080 video on a 4K screen. You see
Oh
that?
yeah.
That's what I'm
without a
saying.
yeah.
But that's what they're going to do with the mobile devices. You're going to take a 1080 video, put it on a 4K screen. It's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
reduce it.
Yeah, you're gonna see the
You can't
difference.
deliver
Yeah.
in 1080 anymore in that sense. That's what I'm saying.
I agree with you.
Like
on that.
right now, I think it's still the standard to deliver in 1080. If you don't agree, for most, because if people are putting stuff online, you know, that's what's-
1080 just looks like you go on YouTube and like there's a lot of stuff that's just in 1080.
Yeah, and not everyone has a 4K TV. That's still somewhat of a luxury.
Yeah.
Did we lose you, Bknott?
No, I'm here. So I was.
Oh, you were just
He's,
stoic.
Yeah, I was thinking what
was
you're
like-
saying. So I think that let me take 5 years. But basically, what I'm
Yeah.
saying about the Black Magic is it can 12-bit is great, man. It can get.
Oh,
the job.
yeah.
It'll get the job done.
I just feel like there's gonna be like one of the big things that they're talking about lately is the virtual set and augmented reality, where you can kind of like you just wear
Unreal.
glasses and now you can kind of like the I forgot Player One video game.
Ready Player One?
Yeah, that movie.
where
Yeah.
it just like pops out and then you're just like, oh, now I can see other screens. Now I can do all these things. Like,
Stuff with like Oculus and now
yeah,
TLC's
but
making their own
but
glasses.
those
and
are
stuff
the
like that.
old bricky phones, like that like the old
Yeah.
cell phones.
Oh no, like
they're-
TLC already has sunglasses.
Yeah,
that, like
yeah. I mean,
you
Ray-Ban
can
had some like recording on stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
we still have to figure out like what's gonna happen.
that's also
because
going to be like another 5 years.
yeah, well, I mean, like because the laws
years,
of that,
maybe.
it's like, oh, now you're gonna record me when I'm just like talking to you, or like like you're just in the street kind of thing like that, and somebody's recording you, like your
Yeah.
privacy laws. That's where it gets a little tricky too.
So you think that's what cameras are headed towards? Like augmented
I
reality?
honestly believe that's where it's gonna be going to, because it's just like the point of a like a cell phone and all that stuff is like, can you record as fast as possible and kind of stuff like that.
Well,
but,
Canon did release their AR lens.
right.
You know, so did you see that, Bknott? They have a basically it looks like two fisheye lenses. Looks like binoculars for your
Oh,
camera.
I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, yeah.
But they're meant for the 360 space.
yeah.
They're meant for VR and AR. So it's like you can film in a space and then you can put the file in a VR program. And now when you put on VR headsets, you can look around,
Wow.
but through a Canon sensor.
So Sony's gonna be cooking up something like to match that, as well as like everything else.
But I think Canon did that so they can have
the market,
content creators create for the metaverse
of
and
course.
stuff like that.
I thought the metaverse was dead.
Yeah, well, it's dying. It's dying very badly.
Yeah, I don't believe in it. I don't believe in AR, VR, metaverse.
No?
You don't think? Like, I will tell you right now, my man, he now has become a VR person. Like I was talking to him about like not for safe work relatable things, and he was just like, because I was telling him I watch it on some other things, and then he's just like, yeah, I only watch it through VR now. I don't watch any.
Really?
He doesn't watch porn through anything else than VR now. He called me a peasant to watch it on my mobile phone instead of the other things. That's why I was just like, and that's just a man that's just like now in his 30s. I'm thinking about kids.
He watched VR.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, brother, you might need to get a prostitute.
Yo, I'm gonna have to censor his name out. He's gonna get so mad at me.
Man, the CIA couldn't get that out of me, bro. Hey, yo, you got to torture me to get that.
But
shit.
I'm telling you right now, bro. I'm thinking about the kids though, like not them watching porn, but more so like they're gonna grow up in a time where VR is gonna start getting to be like that norm, where it's just like, oh no, like
You could watch other things in VR, right?
Oh, I'm sure you can, but we're not going into that right now. That's his interest of what he wants to do.
Well,
with
that's
his
funny.
time.
No,
Yeah.
I still think it's like a luxury rather than norm.
Oh,
Still.
absolutely. I agree. Because it's encumbersome. The fact that you have to put on this headset and you might knock somebody out by it, or just throw your TV like.
But my other original point when I was talking about the switch from 1080 to 4K is that I think the switch from 4K to 6K will probably be quicker than it took for standard to move to 4K.
Okay.
Because I feel like once like 4K stops becoming the luxury, brands want to make money, so they're going to just start releasing their 8K and 6K TVs and screens and everything like that. So then that's going to be the new luxury for however how many years, you know? If that makes sense. I mean, do you agree?
Yeah, I do. I definitely do. Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that, but yeah.
Yeah, because it's like this that part of consumerism that's driving this machine forward. Even though like we don't see we don't see it visually. Like scientifically, it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
you know. But definitely, it's like everyone wants that next thing. You know, it's like that's the only thing that's gonna sell. You know. But yeah, so like DaVinci really, I think, is rocking the world, and Premiere needs to catch up. Like either do something drastic, figure itself out. But like DaVinci is doing really great stuff. I think the biggest thing, just to end it off on a final thought, is, and let me know if you agree with this, Bknott, but like I think DaVinci has done the best job of listening to its consumers, listening to the people who actually use it, what they actually want from an editing
and
software,
what they need.
and what they need, and like what they, and they've actually delivered. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, and hopefully they listen to me and you and get that remix tool so we can just be done with Premiere. Honestly.
Hopefully we get somebody over there listening to this podcast right now, and understanding that we wanna be 100% on your side, but like,
one of the things they got to do, they need to make
Yeah.
the lock button on the tracks more prominent, because there's too many
more
times
prominent.
I click the lock button like when we're working in the edit tab.
Yeah.
I can't tell that it's locked. It's just
Yeah, because in the Premiere they make it obvious. It grays out like the whole track.
You got on some whole shit in DaVinci. They can fix it.
Yeah, come on, DaVinci developers, just like real quick,
Yeah.
set that gray function across the whole track. Easy
Can't take you
UI
that
fix.
long.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Something.
Okay, Bknott, do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, appreciate y'all having me. It was dope. I'm always talking about technology, cameras, edits, computers, all that. Definitely been enjoying working with y'all. When I come to New York, want to meet y'all.
We'll do another podcast. Yeah.
We'll do one in person with you next time you're in New York.
That'll be good. Yeah. And definitely want to keep working with y'all as well too, with the edits and anything else.
Oh, you know you will be, like, because we do not like to edit.
Got you. I it's right on my alley. I got you.
We got you, brother. Also, where can the people find you?
You can find me at bknottproductions@gmail.com. You can also find me. I put my Gmail up first.
Oh, there you go.
You know what I mean? Like, I take a Gmail. Because I don't really be on Instagram like that no more. But if you send me an Instagram message, I'm a DM.
What's your Instagram handle?
Life of Bknott.
Life of Bknott.
Yeah,
At Life of
Bknott.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you. We appreciate you and your time for coming along with us. And yeah, man, we look forward to seeing you again.
Yep. And thank you for everyone watching the Vision Maker podcast. We'll be here next week. And you could also find us at Vision Maker Productions NY. I'm at Victor M_Vision Maker.
I'm at Shop by Derlis.
So, there we go. So have a good night, everybody.
Later.